Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Yet another weekend where we're asking the same question: how do Arsenal beat Manchester City? 6 games, we've failed to beat them even once at the Emirates Stadium, away from home. Wherever we've been, wherever we've played them, we've failed to beat them. But of course, Mikel Arteta has beaten them before, ever since joining from Manchester City, and that shows that there is a small window where we will eventually get to beat Manchester City. Will it be this weekend? Can we eventually overcome that big test? Because they're going to be our biggest rivals. They're going to be our biggest threat this season on the title, but also generally in terms of people gauging where Arsenal is. If you want to know where Arsenal are, if you want to know where your team is actually, the parameter, the yardstick is Manchester City. So this weekend, this Sunday, we are going to know where Arsenal are exactly are. Are they at the level where they can compete with City, or are we really still very, very far away? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let me know in the comment box below. Do you think William Saliba can stop Erling Haaland? Because that is going to be a key battle, and that is going to be a very important encounter in this game. If Erling Haaland wins the battle between him and Saliba, the way he did against Rob Holding, it's going to be an absolute disaster. But should William Saliba pull out his magic, should William Saliba perform the magic, then it's going to be in favor of Arsenal. So let me know in the comment box below. Do you think he can keep him quiet? Do you think he can shut him up? Let me know in the comment box below, and let's get this video to 300 likes. Now, how do we stop Manchester City is a question that every single team asks themselves when they go to play the light blues, but we all come back with the same kind of result: a loss, or at least Manchester City being the better side, and then you walk away with a point or 3 points where you really feel you didn't deserve them. For me, I think the first thing we've got to think about, and the first thing we've got to work on in this game, is Erling Haaland. So Pep Guardiola has actually changed the way he plays football. He's changed the way football runs. He's changed the way we know him. He's actually gone for a typical number 9, kind of Samuel Eto'o vibes. He's gone with a typical number 9, a guy that literally waits in the penalty area, a fox in the box, and that has actually worked out. Erling Haaland last season scored 36 Premier League goals. But not only that, he also managed to score an average of 50 plus goals in 50 plus appearances in the Manchester City shirt. That is remarkable. That is absolutely unheard of. But that comes from the fact that Manchester City can create a lot, but Erling Haaland has the ability to finish well, and he's got the ability to find those right spaces. He's got that ability to find the right move, the right run, in the right place. He positions himself very, very well. So the role in this game to stop Erling Haaland, however much he's going to be very busy, falls onto that boy, William Saliba. I don't think there is a better centre-back in this Arsenal side that we should ask to take care of Erling Haaland. It's going to be William Saliba. Now, you remember in the second leg of that Manchester City-Arsenal game, Rob Holding was tasked with holding Erling Haaland. It was an absolute disaster. I've never seen a weak centre-back like Rob Holding in that game. I think the last time I saw an Arsenal defender completely annihilated by a forward was Pablo Mari annihilated by Romelu Lukaku in a Chelsea game where we lost 2-0. That is the only time I remember. Of course, we've had a chunk of bad defenders: Mustafi, Squillaci. I mean, to mention but a few. But Rob Holding, just, I despise him as a centre-back, but he just threw away every responsibility he had, and he actually turned to ball watching. So if you're going to stop Manchester City, you've got to stop their source of goals. Last campaign, they scored about 90 goals. 36 of those came from Erling Haaland. Now they do not have Ilkay Gundogan. It's going to be much better. Arsenal do have a fighting chance because there will be a reduction in quality. There will be a dip in quality from Manchester City. But Erling Haaland, William Saliba needs to come out on top. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know where. I don't know what he's going to do. But he needs to come out on top of that battle. Because if you kill Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne literally becomes a little bit less creative because he won't be finding those passes through to Erling Haaland. And even if he does, and Saliba is winning the duels, it means we will have the upper hand. We will have the advantage. But then also, you've got to think about that kind of support, that kind of metronome role that Erling Haaland plays at times. Now, many people have said he's just a box striker. If he doesn't score, he doesn't appear. That is not what I remember saying at the Etihad when we played Manchester City in the second leg and we conceded 4-1. That's not what I remember saying. What I remember saying is him holding the ball, laying it off to Kevin De Bruyne, and De Bruyne scoring from so many yards outside the penalty area. So you've got to stop him. Whether he's scoring, whether he's trying to link up play, you've got to stop him. That is one way you stop Manchester City. But they're very good, aren't they? You just can't stop them in only one move. What is the second move we need to do? That is reduce our own mistakes. I think this is something that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta have got to work on. The mistakes are something that have cost Arsenal over the years. And Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is bound to make more mistakes than anyone or anything on this world. Gabriel Magalhaes, Aaron Ramsdale, Edin Nketiah, Thomas Partey. I can, just to name but a few. Last season, Gabriel Magalhaes was directly responsible to giving away the ball and Jack Grealish profiting by scoring. Ramsdale was directly responsible for 2 of the 4 goals we conceded at the Etihad in the second leg. Just weak hands and poor goalkeeping. So if you want to beat Manchester City, and Mikel always says this, if you've watched his press conference or you've listened to my reaction, you've actually had him say it again. If you want to beat City, you get to their level. If you want to beat Manchester City, you perform to the levels of Man City. Man City don't give you the ball. Manchester City don't give you chances for you to score. They don't do that. Why? They know that the best team wins. So if you're the best team, you don't commit mistakes. If you've come to beat them, you've got to beat them fair and square. They don't give you no chances. They don't give you no mistakes for you to profit from. Ramsdale is going to be defined by this game. If he comes on again and makes those weak hands, if he comes on again and he's feeble, in my reaction, I'll say Ramsdale to the bench, David Raya to start. Because it's a season-defining game. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, in terms of our preparedness, it's the opening, it's the curtain raiser for the season. It's a very important game. I could say this is the most important game Arsenal will play this campaign. Because you beat City, you can beat anyone in the UEFA Champions League. You beat City, you get confident, you can beat them again in the Premier League. So, I've got to say this. The mistakes have got to stop. We can make mistakes against Luton because we can bail ourselves out in that game. Gabriel Magalhaes, Aaron Ramsdale, if they cannot keep away from making mistakes, it is high time they converse to the manager, keep him, ask to be out of the lineup. As simple as that. But the mistakes have to be reduced significantly or even gotten rid of. Number 3 is we've got to work harder than Manchester City. The last time Arsenal played a decent game against City was on the 1st of January 2022. All the 3 games we played against City last season, don't fumble. Do not even lie to yourself. Those were shit performances. The good performance was on the first day. That game ended in a 2-1 win for Manchester City. Lodri winning it very late. A very bad penalty given away to Manchester City. And it's a game where Arsenal dominated play. It's a game where Manchester City dominated play as well. So it was kind of 50-50. But it's a game where Arsenal worked harder than City. Whenever they picked up the ball, we were there. Whenever they lost the ball, we were there. The first ball, we were on it. The second ball, we were on it. Literally, in that game, all I remember is what Mikel Arteta was trying to do. Last season, what I saw was a scared Arsenal, a scared Mikel Arteta. You've got to work harder than City. They place 4 players in an area, you place 5. They make 5 touches. The 6th touch must be ours. Our PPDA must be as low as possible. They make 2 touches, we intercept. They make 1 touch, we intercept. You cannot give them the freedom to be roaming around, waiting for them to come into our own half. On the transition, it's going to be very key because they will have the ball, bigger chunks of the ball than us. So the transition is going to be, important. But for us to get that chance on the transition, we must be hardworking. We must force the mistakes, and we must force them into those mistakes by ourselves. Like I said, they're a very good side. You don't expect them to give you the ball. You don't expect them to just give you mistakes because you're Mikel Arteta or you are Arsenal. They are not afraid of us. We shouldn't be afraid. We should be respectful, and by showing that respect, we should be working harder than them. We should be running harder than them. We should be physical. We should be smart, intelligent, and we should be very, very prepared. And that takes me to the next point, which is Arsenal have got to be physical and play at a high tempo in this game. So the one thing I've seen with City is that they have physical players. Rodri is physical, De Bruyne is physical, Haaland is physical, Gvardiol is physical, Diaz is physical, John Stones is physical, Nathan Ake is physical. There is a reason as to why Pep has gone with physicality over Messi, Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, what he started with. He's realized that in the Premier League, if you're going to survive, you're going to be bully. You've got to be a bully. And I think Julian Timber, William Saliba, Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, that kind of every physical player must play in this game. Every physical player in this Arsenal side must have a role to play in this team. Ben White. Because with Manchester City, they will pass the ball around. They kind of remind you of the Invisibles, of the Arsenal Invisibles. The Patrick Vieiras, the Thierry Henrys. You couldn't bully them off the ball. Like, you literally couldn't bully them off the ball. It was impossible, right? And then they played the best football. They played the most entertaining football in the league. That is Manchester City. You will not bully them. So I'm not saying Arsenal should be physical to bully Man City. I'm saying we should be equal to the challenge in terms of physicality. Last season, Fabio Vieira, Saka, Martinelli. Actually, one of Martinelli and Saka must not start this game. It should be Leandro Trossard. Kai Havertz, in my opinion, physically is not up to the standards of this game. So is Eddie Nketiah. Okay? So, but of course, we don't have anyone apart from Eddie. So we've got to be physical, and we need to make sure that the game doesn't slow down. Because when you slow the game down and you allow them freeze time, you're gone. You're doomed. So you don't allow Manchester City freeze time. You don't allow Manchester City slow down the game. We must keep it at a high tempo. Run. 90 minutes. Next on the point list is you've got to take your chances. When we lost against them at the Emirates, Eddie Nketiah missed sitters, headers, simple finishes, things like that. And it's one of the things that I remember and I recall. It's one of the lessons I picked from that game. You're playing one of the machines in Europe, and you're gifting them everything. You're gifting them chances to score against you, and when you create chances that are hard to come by, you do not actually take them. Eddie Nketiah, this is a point that goes to you. You're the only striker we have. You're our number 9. This is a game where Saka will not have many chances. This is a game where Odegaard will not have many chances. Why? Because the chances will be, seldom come by, and they will fall onto our talisman, and that's going to be Eddie Nketiah. So it's going to be, he either helps us get over the line, right? He either helps us get over the line, or it's going to be as simple as we don't score. So take your chances. We need to take our chances. Mikel knows we need to take our chances. Eddie knows we didn't take our chances, and everyone will be looking at how many chances do Arsenal create and how many of those chances do they take. Remember, they have the best left back in the Premier League defensively in Nathan Ake. They have the best right back in the Premier League and in the world, Kyle Walker. They have the best centre back in the world in Ruben Diaz. So when those chances come, they will not come again. You either take them or you bust. Lastly, we've got to play 4-5 midfielders. With City, their kind of plan is always to create those superiorities, those overloads. Passing triangles, passing diamonds, passing rectangles. That's what they do. So, in my opinion, Rice, Partey, Odegaard, and Trossard should be the box midfield, with Gilles Timber inverting into midfield to form a 5. We need more midfielders. We need more bodies in midfield. We need more players in midfield. We just need to overwhelm them numerically, quality-wise, and we just need to surprise them. So, for me, more bodies in midfield and quicker transitions. I've been watching Manchester United today, and the reason that's why I watched the Manchester United game is Erik ten Hag has actually focused on the transition part of his game rather than having the ball and kissing it around. So Erik ten Hag has actually noticed that you can be as direct as you can be and win games. Man United is the most direct team in the Premier League, but also the second most direct team in Europe, just behind Real Madrid. They are scoring more goals out of direct play, direct attacks, and they are also creating more chances out of direct attacks as well. I think this is the game where Man United could actually lend us their nuts. It's a game where we might remember why Manchester City keep on losing to Man United. United is kind of a more direct team as compared to Arsenal. Kissing the ball around is not what's going to help us. Get that ball and directly look to play it into the final third, into the penalty area of Manchester City. However much I've said that, it's gonna be it's gonna be to Mikel. It's gonna be down to Mikel Arteta. How prepared is he and his side for this encounter? But that is how I think we need to stop Man City. Let me know yours in the comment box below.